Much is still unknown about these powerful medications and their long-term impact on our waistlines and our culture, though it's undeniable, affecting not only how we medically treat ourselves, but also what we think about weight. And that's what we're talking about today, the good, the bad, all of it, the truths, the secrets behind what we were all talking about this summer, and we still are. Our first guest has spent years struggling with her weight, starting at age 13 when she first joined Weight Watchers. With a history of obesity in her family, Tamron Rothenhoeffer tried for decades to get her weight under control, doing practically every diet she said under the sun, without success. Now, after her sister passed away from complications linked to obesity, Tamron was committed to making a change so that she could be around, as she says, for her children, her 13-year-old son, Lucas, her 22-year-old daughter, Abby, and her 1-year-old granddaughter, Kinsley. In March of 2020, when she learned about a volunteer trial for a new drug to help with weight loss, Tamron thought this could be the answer, and she signed up. Now, cut to today. Tamron is active, eating better, she says, and her health has improved tremendously. But that's not all. She's lost 200 pounds. Welcome to the Tam Fam, Tamron, to the show. Come on out. Wow.
Thank you for having me. Oh, thank you so much.
Have a seat, have a seat. Oh, wow. Look at her, look at you, the same person, same heart. So I want to get that out of the way here because we are who we are in our hearts. But the reality is you were worried that you wouldn't be able to see Kinsley grow up, that you wouldn't be able to be the mom that you are for your family. Take me to that moment when you hear there's a trial, because obviously that would get me nervous. I'm like, wait a minute, they're testing this out on me. What happens to me? How did you feel during that time?
I definitely had some nerves involved in that because I'm not really a medication person at all. But there was a lot of excitement because, you know, as you mentioned, I had lost my sister recently. She had, you know, children and grandchildren, and I started thinking about my own family and how could I get my health under control after so many failed attempts.
How would you describe your health at the time?
I was always very lucky that I was relatively healthy on paper, you know, blood pressure, things like that, never had any problems with that. But it kept me from doing a lot of things just in normal life that you know, would do.
Give me an example of the challenges of normal life.
Walking up and down stairs. You know, going anywhere where you had to do a lot of walking, or, you know, my husband would drop me off in the front of a store rather than, you know, parking out in the parking lot and having to walk a long way. You know, things start to ache and hurt you, and it just was a daily struggle. You
mentioned your husband. He's here in the audience with us. He was supposed to be in the trial. You got his spot.
I did.
How'd that happen? And are you still mad about it? No,
He's been great.
Oh, he looks great there.
He signed up for the trial first, and I didn't even know. And he came home, told me about it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to do this. And when I looked into it too, the spots were full. So I was happy for him, you know, that he was gonna maybe, you know, do this journey. And during the process, he found out that he was diabetic, something we didn't know.
Wow.
And had he not begun this process, we may not have found that out. So it was really a blessing for him as far as his health to get that part under control, but it disqualified him from the trial.
Why did it disqualify him from the trial?
The medication had already been tried for diabetics, so they knew, you know, the interactions for someone like him, but they were specifically trying it for weight loss, so they wanted someone, you know, focused on that.
Did you experience side effects?
Very minimal. So one of the things the medication does is it slows the gastric process, digestion and things like that. So what comes along with that is, you know, things like constipation and some of that kind of stuff. But for me, that was really the majority of what
Because I've heard horror stories of people saying they've gotten sick and none of those things happened to you.
No, or to people that I know.
Okay. And so, like, I remember, and I'm sure our audience does, and people watching at home, when everyone was talking about lap band and surgeries, and it was Al Roker who revealed, my dear friend Al Roker, his weight loss, and he said, listen, unless you change your lifestyle, it doesn't matter. It will be temporary. obviously, it seems you made lifestyle changes because we were talking with Emily from The Housewife. There's no magic bullet, right? People have been searching for it since the beginning of time, I'm sure. But you have to do the lifestyle change. How did you do that after struggling with weight since you were 13?
This was just a great tool, kind of a jump start, to obviously it's an appetite suppressant and, things like that, but you do have to put in the work. So, as soon as I felt like it was working, because again, this was a trial, I didn't know if I was going to get the medication or not. I could have gotten a placebo. But as soon as I knew that I had the medication, then it was kind of one of those things you're motivated to make those changes. At first it was just eating a little less, but then it was like a conscious decision to eat healthier, to make a better choice. Not just eat less of what I was eating before, but to start introducing things that I'd never even tried.
When we come back, I want to explore that, because once you look in the mirror and you start to see results, how does that affect your mind to keep going? We always hear about the plateau, and then you feel defeated, like I'm not getting anywhere here. But you started to see results, and that somehow played a role in how you process lifestyle. When we come back, more with Tara, and we'll find out how her husband felt when he lost that spot. We'll be right back.
Okay, so today is Friday. It is shot day, and I thought I would give you guys a little insight as to what that looks like. Only thing you need to do to use it is to take the cap off, like that. I don't know if you can see the medications in the vial here. I've been doing it pretty much for the most part in the abdomen. Works well for me. Don't even really feel it, so I'm just going to stick to doing that. And you're going to just basically put the shot up against the skin like that, firmly. Press the little plunger, like that. Count to 10, and that's it.
Welcome back. That was Tara Rothenhoeffer, who opened up about her struggle with obesity throughout her life and was able to lose 200 pounds in 3 years with the help of lifestyle changes and a game-changing medication used for weight loss that people have been talking about a lot this summer. Tara, it's interesting that you were in the trials, because I think there was this undercurrent of seeing celebrity photos and celebrities slimming down, and people started to speculate on what these people may or may not have been taking, and then it entered the mainstream, even with the expensive price tag of like $1,200 for some of these medicines without insurance. That's the technical part about it. You're the heart, in my opinion, because here you are now 200 pounds less. Did people start to see you different? Did people start to treat you differently?
I would definitely say so. When you're heavy, when you're obese especially, I think people tend to look at you, look down on you, look at you negatively. I've even had people say, things like, how did you let yourself get that size, or how did you let yourself go?
When people would say that, what did you say in response?
Well, it was really hurtful because, as you said earlier, I'm still the same person, same person on the left and the right there. I just look a little different. And I was a person who was always very active in life. I have a 13-year-old son who plays football. I was out and about all day long, every day, But I just took that very personally, because it's like you're truly judging a book by its cover and not getting to know somebody.
Did you ever have those personal moments of, to your point, you were active, did you say, why me? Why am I having this struggle with my weight?
Yeah, I felt like that my whole life, honestly. My dad's side of the family, we were always larger, bigger people. And I think a lot of it is just genetic. People think that if you're overweight, you're sitting on your couch stuffing your face all day. And that's simply not the case, and I think it's just not fair to label everybody in that way.
I agree, and I just got emotional when you said that, because we assign things to people, and you see someone struggling with their weight, or even someone who's homeless, and you say, what did they do?
Yes.
Somehow they are lazy or failed. I know that Mark is here, and I jokingly said, you took his spot, but in reality, I know that behind the scenes before this interview, you got a little emotional talking about the love that he has for you, no matter what the scale says and no matter what a dress size says.
Yeah, I've been very, very lucky. He's just been such a support system for me. But as I said earlier, he loved me at 340 pounds, and he loves me now at 140 pounds, you know. So he's definitely been a champion for me along the way and has always encouraged me just to be the best version of myself I can be.
Mark, what are your thoughts? I mean, as she said, the judgment, and I think women obviously get it more than men, and we know that. Seeing her endure that judgment, how did that make you feel?
It hurt me. I'm a larger guy, and people do judge. They don't know who we are or what we do, but yet they walk away from us. Or like at a sporting event, they sit down in the seat, they see us walk down the aisle, and they're like, here come the big people or something like that. And that hurts me, and I know it hurt her too. But now you can see she doesn't have that problem. When she walks into a sporting event and sits in a seat, it's perfectly fine.
And I have to remark, you look great. What did you do?
I just, she's eating healthier, so I eat a little bit healthier. I could do better.
Tara, you're the embodiment of what we say in the South. When mama's happy, everybody's happy. When mama slims down, everybody gets going on the house. I love it. Real quick, because I mentioned this before the commercial break, when you started to see the results, that played a role in how you saw yourself in the lifestyle change, because you see it working and you want to keep it going.
For sure. For sure. I felt like, once I started seeing the weight come off, which was pretty rapid in the beginning, then I wanted to do more. Then as soon as I felt okay to do so, I started walking, then I started riding a bike, then I started doing some swimming, or, just being as active as I could possibly be without, overdoing it.
Yeah.
But the more I lost, the more I wanted to lose. And I did hit those plateaus, sometimes for weeks or even a few months. But I just kept at it because I thought, you know what? This is finally something that is working, and I want to see this through to the end.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing your journey. Tara and Mark, thank you.